In Chapter 6, we'll be looking at improving readability with style and design. Learning objectives, we'll be looking at describe and apply the following principles of writing style that improve ease of reading, completeness, conciseness, and natural processing. 2. Explain and use navigational design to improve ease of reading. 3. Describe and apply the components of the reviewing stage, including a fair test, proofreading, and feedback. So in this chapter, we'll be covering the following topics: principles of writing style, including completeness, conciseness, and natural processing, navigational design, and the reviewing stage. Most of your messages in the workplace have a clear goal: to update your team members, to promote a service to a client, to give an assignment, and so on. Your goal of completeness means that your message provides all the information necessary to meet that purpose. Your colleagues, clients, and other contacts expect complete information so that they can act on your message immediately. Otherwise, they will need to contact you to get additional information, or worse yet, ignore your message altogether. You can achieve completeness with 3 basic strategies: providing all relevant information, being accurate, and being specific. One challenge is to judge which information is relevant for your message. After all, providing too much information can distract your readers and weigh down your document. On the other hand, not providing enough information can leave your reading wondering how to respond. The key to providing all but only relevant information is to plan, write, and review your message strategically. Repeatedly asking yourself what information is necessary for the purpose of your message will help you accomplish this. Accuracy is a basic objective of all business communication because your colleagues, customers, and clients base important decisions on your communications. In short, accurate information is true, correct, and exact. You should aim for accuracy in facts, figures, statistics, and word choice. Accuracy, like specificity, strongly impacts your readers' perceptions of your credibility. Just one inaccurate statement can lead readers to dismiss your entire message and lower their trust in your future communications as well. Inaccuracies may result from miscalculations, misinformation, poor word choice, or simply typos. A lot of you are guilty of the typos and not proofreading. Please keep this in mind. Take a look at that table and this table. Make sure you read through and truly understand the problems. The more your readers expect you to be precise and avoid vagueness in nearly all business situations. The more specific you are, the more likely your readers are to have their questions answered. If you are not specific, your readers may become impatient and begin scanning and skimming for the information they want. If they can't find that information, they are unlikely to respond to your message as you intend. Being specific also affects the judgment your readers make about your credibility. Specific statements lead your readers to believe that you know what you're talking about, competence, and that you are not hiding anything, character, and that you want your readers to be informed, caring. Being vague, on the other hand, distracts and detracts from your credibility. See Table 6.2 for examples of less specific and more specific writing. When you write concisely, your message is far easier to read. Conciseness does not imply removing relevant information. Rather, it implies omitting needless words so that readers can rapidly process your main ideas. Your language should be efficient. You should say as much as you can in as few words as possible. Your primary focus is not impressing with words, but rather impressing with ideas. In this section, we describe strategies for writing concisely, including controlling paragraph length, using shorter sentences, avoiding redundancy, avoiding empty phrases, and avoiding wordy prepositions. Before they even begin to read, readers form impressions about the ease of reading by looking at paragraph length. When they see long paragraphs, they often enter skim mode. I know I do. Searching for certain words and ideas rather than reading. Long paragraphs can signal disorganization and even disrespect for the reader's time. I agree with that. Typically, paragraphs should contain 40 to 80 words. For routine messages, paragraphs as short as 20 to 30 words are common and appropriate. As the level of information and analysis grows deeper, some paragraphs will be longer. Rarely should paragraphs exceed 150 words. In a matter of seconds, you can easily check how many words are in your paragraph with nearly all word processing software. One primary cause of overly lengthy paragraphs is placing more than one idea or topic in the paragraph. Take a look. Your readers can process the information far more easily if you create unified paragraphs in which each paragraph focuses on one idea or topic. The process of unifying helps you control paragraph length and even tighten your business reasoning. Take a look at 6.3. Like relatively short paragraphs, short sentences allow your readers to comprehend your ideas more easily. As a rule of thumb, for routine messages, aim for average sentence length of 15 or fewer words. For more analytical and complex business messages, you may have an average sentence length of 20 or fewer words. You will often deal with complex ideas and need to go above 20 words in some of your sentences. Use your judgment to minimize sentence length. I love short sentences myself. Take a look at Table 6.4. Read through it. Consider Figure 6.2, which depicts the data from a study conducted by the American Press Institute. Readers were tested on their overall comprehension based on the length of sentences. When sentences had 10 words or fewer, readers had nearly 100% comprehension. Once sentence lengths reached around 20 words, comprehension dropped to about 80%. Thereafter, it dropped rapidly. Sentence lengths of 28 words resulted in just 30% comprehension. Yikes. One way to reduce word count and make your messages easier to read is to avoid redundancies, which are words and phrases that repeat the same meaning. By eliminating redundancies, you can reduce overall word count. Take a look at Table 6.5. Read through it. Many phrases simply fill space without adding additional meaning. Many of these phrases are common in conversations but are not needed for written messages. Take a look and how you can avoid empty phrases in Table 6.6. Sorry. Okay. Eliminating extra words allows you to get your ideas across as efficiently as possible. You will often find that you can reduce word count by 30 to 40% simply by converting many of your prepositional phrases into single word verbs. Like other elements of style we have discussed already, prepositional phrases are not bad in themselves. In many cases, they are perfectly appropriate. However, their overuse leads to wordiness and less clarity. Take a look at Table 6.7 on less effective and more effective uses of prepositional phrases. To produce a more natural style and improve the ease of reading, you should use action verbs when possible. Use active voice. Use short and familiar words and phrases. Use parallel language. Avoid buzzwords and figures of speech. Avoid it is, they are. Typically, then, you can focus on two types of revisions to achieve more effective action verbs. First, find nouns that you can convert to action verbs. For example, have a meeting becomes meet, or have a discussion becomes discuss. Second, find forms of the verb to be and convert them to action verbs. For example, Sunrise is a great place to open a franchise with becomes Sunrise provides great opportunities for franchises. See Table 6.8 for examples of the following two strategies for using action verbs. Find nouns that you can convert to action verbs. For example, you have made an estimate becomes estimate, or need an initial investment becomes initially invest. Find forms of the verb to be, such as is, are, am, and convert them into action verbs. Sunrise is a company with excellent customer service becomes Sunrise provides excellent customer service. See the difference there. One way to immediately improve your writing is use active rather than passive voice in most sentences. Active voice and passive voice contain the following grammatical patterns. Active voice, doer as subject, plus verb, plus object. Passive, object as subject, be verb, verb, doer. Active voice, Sunrise provides free training for up to 3 people for each new store. Passive, free training is provided for up to 3 people for each new store. In active voice, this sentence immediately identifies the doer. It then uses a strong verb and proceeds to the object, the free training. Using active voice in writing includes many benefits. Doer action object allows for faster processing because most people's natural thinking occurs in this way. It also emphasizes the business orientation of action. Perhaps most important, it specifies the doer. Since business activities depend on accountability and coordination, knowing the identity of the doer of an action is usually important. Writing in the active voice specifies the doer, makes sentences or action-oriented, makes sentences easier to read, and can help break thoughts into more concise sentences. Writing in the active voice usually results in fewer words. Take a look at the less effective and more effective uses when you have passive to active voice in Table 6-9. Although active voice is the preferred writing style for most business writing, passive voice is sometimes better when attempting to avoid blaming others. Take a look at the examples using active voice appropriately. Here's another less effective and more effective use where active voice may not be appropriate. Whenever possible, choose short, conversational, and familiar words. Using longer, less common words to sound smart rarely pays off. They slow processing and distract from your message. They may even inadvertently send the signal that you are out of touch, quirky, or even arrogant. Indeed. See Table 6-11 for an example of how choosing short, conversational, and familiar words allows for ease of reading. Using parallel language, and this is important, a lot of people have to practice this, means that you apply a consistent grammatical pattern across a sentence or paragraph. Parallelism is most important when you use series or lists. For example, when you describe a product with 3 characteristics, use the same grammatical pattern for each. That is, for example, choose adjectives or nouns or verbs for all of them, not hit and miss. Here's an example. When you use grammatical patterns for items in lists and series, readers can process the information far more naturally and quickly. Take a look at the less effective and the more effective way. Here's another example using less effective and more effective. To keep your writing natural and engaging, you make sure you don't distract your readers with overused or out-of-place words or phrases. Buzzwords, which are workplace terms that become trite because of overuse, can stir negative feelings among those reading. Figures of speech, such as idioms and metaphors, which contain non-literal meanings, are generally out of place or inappropriate in business writings. Since they are non-literal, they lack the precise meanings needed in business. In Table 6-13, you could see one list of annoying buzzwords in a recent survey executives. Dozens of such lists exist because of business professionals become so agitated by these overused words. There's one of my favorites, synergy. Do more with less. Readers naturally want to know precisely who or what the subject of a sentence is, particularly in business writing where specificity is so important. Most sentences that begin with it is or they are fail to provide a specific subject and generally contain more words than necessary. A message can be particularly awkward when many of the sentences begin with it is or they are. By rewording it is, they are statements, you generally liven up your writing. Some examples. One way of recognizing when to reword it is statements is to ask the question, what does it refer to? Consider the second sentence in Table 6.15. It is wonderful to see happy customers day in and day out. What does it refer to? Recognizing what it is requires you to think for a few seconds. By rewording the sentence, you can provide a more descriptive, concise, and natural statement. Seeing happy customers day in and day out is wonderful. Your primary goal for document design is making your message easy to navigate. Ask yourself these questions. How can I get my readers to see my main ideas and messages quickly? How can I make sure my readers can find information they are most interested in? Several features will help you improve your navigational design, including headlines, headings, highlighting, lists, white space, and simplicity. In information-rich and complex messages, headings can help your readers identify key ideas and navigate the document to areas of interest. As you create headings and subheadings, be consistent in font style and formatting throughout your document. One way to be consistent with your headings is to apply formatting features available in most word processing programs. As you develop your headings, make sure you concisely and accurately convey the contents of a section. When you want to highlight ideas or phrases, consider using bold, italic, or underlining to draw and keep your reader's attention. Typically, you will apply this type of formatting sparingly. If you use too much such special formatting, your main ideas will not stand out. In general, apply only one type of formatting to a highlighted word or words, namely only bold or italic, not bold and italic. There are some examples. You will often use lists in business writing. When you set these items apart without bullets or numbers, your readers notice and remember the items less easily because they're all pushed together. Here's a more effective demonstration of using bullets. Much easier to read. Take a read through that. The reviewing process includes 3 interrelated components: conducting the FAIR, F-A-I-R test, proofreading, and getting back. These reviewing components ensure that you show fairness, get the message right, avoid error, and get perspectives from trusted colleagues. For important messages, particularly those that involve complicated issues, apply the FAIR test. The first 2 components are the following. Facts. Are you confident in your facts? Are your assumptions clear? Have you avoided slanting the facts or made other logical errors? Access. Have you granted enough access to message recipients about decision-making and information? Have you granted enough access to the message recipients to provide input? Are you open about your motives, or do you have a hidden agenda? Impacts. Have you thought about how the message will impact various stakeholders? Have you evaluated impacts on others from ethical, corporate, and legal perspectives? Remember this? Respect. Have you demonstrated respect for the inherent worth of others, their aspirations, thoughts, feelings, and well-being? Have you shown that you value others? After studying this chapter, you should understand principles of writing style, such as completeness, conciseness, and natural processing, navigational design, and the reviewing stage.